Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Thanks to our new subscribers, and also please follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So this is a big time coming up for NASA. Why? On February 18th next week, the Perseverance Rover lands on Mars. So what's the big deal? Well, this rover is a big upgrade from the Curiosity rover in 2012. And there's a lot of things that are much more sophisticated on it, including almost all the instrumentation. But what's relevant to us here at the AI Guide is AI. So NASA spins off technologies that they develop to the public, and companies can look at these spin-off technologies and license them and use them. And NASA, even if you apply for help, will help you develop products from the technology that they spin off. And they have several different contracts that they will enter into with companies to help them create usable products and services and technologies from the fundamental research that they do. This new Perseverance rover, originally called Mars 2020 rover, is AI driven. That's obviously brand new since 2012. If you guys remember, 2012, when it launched, was just the beginning of the final work to perfect the neural network. So one of the things that NASA just said when they released some recent information about the Perseverance rover, which they don't, a lot of times they don't say that they use AI, but you know they do. But they specifically say that they're using deep learning and neural nets for the Perseverance rover to drive itself on Mars. Why? Because there's a 12-minute one-way radio signal to and from Mars, so that's 24 minutes round trip. The rover must be able to drive itself. It has to be able to. And these new neural nets and algorithms they've developed for the Perseverance rover are so advanced that they're letting people use them as spin-offs in self-driving cars, trucks, and drones, and other applications soon. So this is your tax dollars at work, because NASA is a government agency, it's taxpayer funded, and NASA is probably the best example of what government can be. It pushes the boundaries. It's exploring the solar system in ways that no private company has yet been able to do. And in combination with academic institutions like Caltech and the JPL lab and Johns Hopkins and the Space Institute there, Space Telescope Science Institute, and a bunch of other places. I'm not slighting anyone. NASA does groundbreaking research. Now, the thing is that this kind of fundamental research is what allows the kind of scientific advancement that we see in the general public. So another example, and this is not about AI, but it explains clearly how fundamental research trickles out into the public, is the National Institutes of Health. They do the fundamental medical research that then turns into drug research at private companies and new medications to treat diseases that didn't exist before. So this is government at its best. It's the really great part of government. And NASA has a very long history of spinning off technologies, including AI. So one of the things we're going to try to do going forward is get hold of NASA and find out how they're using AI in their new Artemis program, which is the return to the moon and eventually to Mars. These new space vehicles, the Orion space vehicle and the SLS, Space Launch System, must be using AI in their design and manufacture and to operate these vehicles. Because even to the moon, there's a little bit of a lag, not like Mars, but there's some lag in radio transmissions. So we'll drill down on that. And going to Mars for humans would be extraordinarily difficult, perhaps impossible without AI, because it takes the research done by JPL in building these Mars rovers and how to land on Mars successfully, which is difficult. Only half of the things sent to Mars have successfully landed. So the Perseverance Rover landing will be hairy. I mean, it's going to be a wild thing. And it's next week on the 18th. And they'll be broadcasting it live. They call it the 7 Minutes of Terror. But the AI that they use to drive the rover and get the rover safely to Mars is mandatory to get humans to Mars. Why? Because, again, of the 24-minute round trip signal time. So this is really cool. It's neat to hear and see NASA openly acknowledge their use of AI and how they are allowing other companies to use their research. And as I said, we're going to try to get more information on how they're using AI in the Space Launch System, the Orion system, and the missions to go back to the moon and on to Mars. Thanks a lot. Take care and talk to you next time. Oh, by the way, if you have feedback for us, please leave feedback on this video or any videos or comments on how we can serve you better. We're looking for comments and feedback all the time, and we'll be responding as much as possible to all the comments that everyone leaves us. So thanks a lot for your feedback, and now we'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.